It's vegan recipes with Pat and Emily.
This week on It's Vegan, we are going to make all of these dishes with our big batch of rice. We've already washed and chopped our vegetables, and now it's time to start cooking. Got the onions cooking on the grill. We like to cook them all separately to make sure everything is cooked to perfection. Now we have the mushrooms and some water chestnuts on the grill, and you can salt and pepper them or season them if you like. We even grill our carrots sometimes when we food prep. I'm going to show you an easy way to get your vegetables off of the grill. This is really a tray to catch any liquids or fat, but it fits right underneath the grill. Tofu is done, the cauliflower is done. What I've got here is a little bit of red miso and some water, and I want to just coat the tofu with that a little bit while the grill's hot. That'll just add a little extra flavoring. Okay, then I'm just going to wipe my vegetables into this little tray, and we will show you how I store them for the week. We got all of our veggies roasted. We put them all together in this big Tupperware container, and we are prepped for the week. Hi, now that we have all of our rice cooked up and all of our veggies batch cooked, we're going to give you some ideas for how we like to use our rice. I'm going to start first with the savory rice. That's this skillet that had the onion and the parsley in it. One thing that you can do is make a bowl for maybe your lunch. So I would start with the rice. I love rice, so I'm probably going to put a fair amount of rice in there. And now I'm going to decide which vegetables I want to include. So I'm going to want to have some cauliflower. I like my grilled carrots, some mushrooms, these peppers, onion, celery. I think I will also add a couple water chestnuts for some crunch. Then I'm going to put on some aminos. I'll just sprinkle it over everything. And there I have my lunch. I'm going to show you a couple ideas. If your family likes really plain rice, you could use the plain rice or this savory rice. And to make something like a Spanish rice, you could just add tomato juice. And I'm not showing you a whole quantity, and then cook it up a little bit. I'm just showing you in a bowl what it could be like. If you want it to have a little more tomato in it, just add some tomatoes. And again, go with your family preference. Cook this some more. Next thing, if you want to go a little further with it, put in some onion and some peppers. These have already been pre-cooked. And that's one of the benefits of doing that pre-cooking and prepping at the beginning of the week. You can make a bowl, you could turn this into Spanish rice. So there's a Spanish rice version. This one, again, I'm going to use the savory rice. You could use either one. And some people just absolutely love these green chilies. And this would make a very nice side dish with nothing other than that in it. You might add just a few more of those.
What are those green chilies?
They're just called green chilies.
Oh, roasted and peeled.
Yeah, they're delicious. So there's that. I'm sure if you're a creative person, you're thinking about other things that you could do with this savory rice. You could even add salsa. This is salsa that I make from locally grown tomatoes. Now, that salsa does not taste like the Spanish rice, so you will get a different flavor with that. There you go. And then I do have one more idea. I'm going to just show you here in the skillet. You could always just add some miso, or you could add tamari. So if I'm adding the miso and I don't want to make this a liquidy rice, I'm just going to keep stirring it around, and that miso will change the flavor of that rice, and it would make a very nice side dish like this. Those are my ideas for you for the savory rice. Next, we're going to start on the big batch of rice. That 4 cups of rice made 12 cups of cooked rice, and it only took a little bit over 20 minutes.
I am now going to show you a real fast spicy peanut butter sauce we like to do. I have about 2 tablespoons of peanut butter in there. To that, I am going to add rice vinegar, lemon juice. You could use lime juice. I just had lemon juice today. I'm gonna put in a squirt of this ginger that has already been grated for us. It's also nice to add lemongrass in here if you have it. This is a very not exact recipe. Throw some garlic in there. And let's make it spicy. We're gonna do a big squirt of sriracha. So I like to put hoisin in here sometimes. And you can always just taste this, and if it needs more of something, add it in. I do this just on rice as a side dish, but I also do this on stir fry for a whole meal. I'm gonna give this a little taste, see if it needs anything else. I think we need a little more everything maybe. Still a little too peanut buttery. Rice vinegar, lemon, garlic, and more sriracha. That's good, just where I want it. And then I'm just gonna mix in as much rice as I think would be good for this sauce. I need more than that. I feel like this is a quick and easy and delicious meal, and I often whip this up really quick when I'm not sure what else we're gonna do for dinner with a bag of stir fry. There you have it. I also wanted to let you know that you can freeze this rice if you did batch cooking and it's just too much and you're not going to get to it. You can freeze this in a mason jar. You want to not put the lid on it until it's cool. And then once it's cool and you put the lid on it, just pop that in your freezer.
Another thing that you can do with that batch rice is get a cup, that cooked rice as a cereal. So put a little bit in a cup. Mine is still hot, but if yours wasn't hot, then you could microwave it. And what I have here is some nuts, chopped dates, and a little bit of flax meal.
I love doing rice cereals like for breakfast.
So you can give that a stir. If you wanted to add more sweetness, there's a variety of ways you could do that. You could add maple syrup, you could add just vegan sugar.
Agave nectar.
I also have some non-dairy milk here. In this case, it's almond, it's unsweetened, and it's vanilla. So I'm also going to put just a sprinkle of cinnamon on top. Stir it all up, and you have a delicious breakfast. Next thing that I'm doing is I am making rice pudding. In my bowl, I have some chopped apples, raisins, and cinnamon. And none of these recipes are measured. You can see the proportions we're doing. This is 2 flax eggs.
All of this is pretty much to taste.
So I'm going to stir this stuff up. And I want to get this mixed really well since I'm using a flax egg. And of course I want to incorporate all of the ingredients.
Just a reminder, all of the ingredient lists / recipes will also be linked below.
A lot of the traditional rice puddings don't have apple in, but I like the flavor that adds. Next, I'm adding some vanilla and I'm adding some maple syrup. Again, you could use other sweeteners with that. Stir it up. It smells wonderful. And then, no quantity specific here, just pour your nut milk over it. And you want to have the rice just covered, and then you will pop that in the oven at 350. It's probably going to take about a half hour. We will be back to show you what it looks like when it's finished.
Now I am going to show you 2 quick soup options. I have some better than bouillon here. This is the vegetable, and I'm going to put a little spoonful in here. And we're going to add hot water. We'll whisk this in, and in there we're going to add a scoop of our rice. A little more rice in there. And then in this one, I'm going to do some peppers, mushrooms, onions, celery, and I'm going to add some canned tomatoes with a little bit of these green chilies. You have just made yourself a delicious brothy vegetable soup. How quick and easy can that be? For this next bowl of soup, we're going to do a scoop of miso. Get our hot water in there. And if you're not really into the soup, you could also make this very thick, like a little bit of like a gravy broth, and make it like a bowl more than a soup. This is going to be like a miso soup, but it's not going to be a traditional miso soup because we are going to throw in a scoop of rice. Then we are going to add mushrooms, bean sprouts, tofu. Oh, I got a pepper in there. celery, and carrots. What a delicious bowl of soup, and so filling. Great for any cold day.
Here's the baked rice pudding.
We use rice when we make our unconventional egg rolls also, and the recipe and video will both be linked below.
Thanks for watching, guys. We hope you enjoyed our batch cooking rice video and all the ideas we had to share.
If you have some ideas of your own, please put them in the comments below.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.
Keep watching if you want to watch a few bloopers.
Ideas of your own, please. If you have some ideas of your own, if you like this, subscribe.
We like to use our rice.